Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from an inmate at Florida Correctional Institution. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
And welcome to Bars Unlocked, Stories Behind the Cells. I am your host, Dr. C, the Purpose Resuscitator, and I have my co-host with me, Holly P, aka Miss Neltings, and Andrew, who is keeping it real, Drew. We're excited to have y'all with us tonight. This is going to be an amazing episode. This is Bars Unlocked, where we are talking about thought-provoking, really getting to understand the world of incarceration from the lenses of so many people and so many stories of how incarceration had affected not only the people incarcerated, but their families, how it affected those in our community. And so we are here to tell the stories, to keep it real, and to bring you into the world that so many other people face on a daily basis. So y'all, what is up today?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Good morning,
That's all
everyone.
I got to say.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's morning somewhere, it's noon and night somewhere
Yes.
around
Somewhere.
Right.
And wherever you are in this world, please go to YouTube and subscribe to Bars Unlocked Podcast.
Yes, we would appreciate that greatly.
Yeah.
Yes. So, what's happening? Keep it real, Drew. I mean, Dr. C, what's been going on in the community?
Oh God, the community, whoo, a lot.
That's a lot to talk about. It's been going down in the community. And when I say community, guys, I'm talking about nationwide community. This is not only our local communities here where we're from, but everywhere. We talk about the community. What's going down in the community? We ain't going to say ghetto or the hood. We're going to say in the community.
Right.
And it's so crazy. It's funny now seeing how all be sharing information. Like, I think I've got shared the most news and stories, and I've received, especially from you, Holly P. Like, I think you be sending me everything now. I say, that's what's up. That's what's up. Like,
I'm like, is this legit? Is this, because we got artificial intelligence. Let's talk about it. So they doing a lot nowadays. So especially on social media streets. So you have to do my fact checks. What is it called? Fact checkers. When yeah. So I have to make sure that these things are legit. Because I'm like, wait a minute, let me look into this. Let me pass this by Dr. C so she can take a look into this.
right. So I'm like all up all night, looking at all these stories, and so much stuff is so interesting now. And it looks like everywhere I'm going, I am talking to somebody who has been incarcerated for years, and they got out, and their stories is amazing. We will never not have a guest.
Right. I'm grateful to hear that. I'm so grateful to hear that. Yes, I've been talking to individuals as well. I find myself just having candid conversations, asking people to whip out their phone, please subscribe, and talking about the show. Then they're now intrigued, and then I hear their backstories of things they done been through, and so I am, I'm excited about this journey of Bars Unlocked. I am excited.
Right. I work every day. I'm working with people. I'm telling them about it. They liking and subscribing. They've been to jail. They've been to prison. So, We
Yeah.
out here. We trying to, accumulate some likes and shares and get some understanding about what's going on in the community for real.
Yes. Spreading awareness. Yes, is always key.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm ready for all of this. I'm ready for all of this. Excited.
Yes. Yes.
Listen, we just got an assistant, so that is amazing.
Ooh,
I'm
yes.
like, there's no way
Assist.
we can do all this.
No, it's a lot. It's a lot that goes into editing and just making sure we got the right stories, the fact checks. You can't be putting informed information out there as well, So it's a lot of work. It's not just, So I commend the new assistant.
Yeah.
Yes, and the good thing about it is he's a returning citizen,
Okay.
so he understands. And then he's of another nationality also, so we're getting stories
Great.
and being able to work with people just from all various nationality, races, cultures to be
Yes.
a part of what we have going on. So I'm excited for that. So we about to get ready to get into it today
Yes.
with our
Yes.
guest, and Holly P is going to announce our guest. This is our stories behind the cell, and we're going to do our introductory video, and then she's going to introduce our guest with a little background.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, dear Bars Unlocked community, I'm thrilled to introduce you to our esteemed guest on Bars Unlocked Stories Behind the Sales, Dana Miller. Dana is not only a man of God and a community leader, but also a beacon of hope and inspiration for countless individuals. As a master barber, Dana's talents extend far beyond his professionalism. He serves as unc to many young boys in the community, providing mentorship, guidance, and the support to help them navigate life's challenges and pursue their dreams. But Dan's impact doesn't stop there. He's deeply committed to uplifting his community and actively assisting organizations and individuals with positive initiatives. Despite facing his own struggles in the past, Dana has dedicated himself to being a force for good, channeling his experience into opportunities for positive change. We are honored to have Dana join us on Bars Unlocked to share his journey, insights, and unwavering commitment to making a difference. His story is a testament to the transformative power of faith, leadership, and community engagement. Please join us and welcome Dana Miller to Bars Unlocked, Stories Behind the Sales. We cannot wait to hear his inspiring story and learn from his remarkable experiences. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. You did a great job.
Thank you.
This is, yes, I'm Dana Miller, and I'm honored to be on your podcast. And thank you, Shayna. I always had my back, and I thank God for each and every one of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to just hear about your journey,
Ooh, it's
in the
been a journey.
community. It's been a journey, definitely.
It has.
And a lot we want to bring awareness to people in the community, citizens, what we call returning citizens that, go through challenges, come back into the community, try to be a law-abiding citizen, try to, make a change. So we want to hear about, the things that, led you there, the mindset and where you are now and what you're doing as a positive change in the community.
Well, I'm honored to be where I am in my life by the grace of God, and it was only Him that changed me. One thing that caused me to change was the death of my brother when I was incarcerated. And, I was out here in these streets selling drugs heavy on the east side, not just the east side, the old Blodgett home back in the 80s, late 80s, and about a couple of years of the 90s before I got incarcerated. And like I tell these young guys, the streets haven't lost yet. The
Wow.
streets, they're like cancer. They will eat at you, and you can come from a two-parent home or you can come from a one-parent home. You can have a great upbringing, but you get caught up in these streets. It's just like the devil just attached himself to you, and you just lose your mind, and you just don't care anymore about
Right.
anything. I had got to the point where I thought I was God because of money and
Wow.
the women and the drugs and just the popularity. And I believe the addiction of making money is more powerful than being on drugs. And
Wow.
once you get, and that's what you're seeing now, what's happening with these stars is the money have taken over. And it says in God's word, money is the root of all evil. It didn't say money was evil, it just says the root of all evil.
Right.
So that's what happened with me. It became the root of my evil. And I got incarcerated. And when I was incarcerated, one of my let me go back and tell you, most guys when they get out of prison, a lot of them don't change. They say like 85% return back to prison.
Right.
And when I was incarcerated, I had officers tell me, "You won't mount to anything. You'll be back in prison and all this." And I was like, "Wait a minute, who you think he is? I'm somebody. I'm somebody.
That's
I'm Dana."
that's right.
But that was in a negative sense what I was saying, because I was still living off the reputation of being in the streets inside of prison. It wasn't that I had changed to become a better person. I was just like, "Hey, I was the man. I had it going on."
Mhm.
But what a rude awakening I had, being incarcerated and him telling me that. And I think my first year in, my brother was murdered. And
Wow.
so once he got
My
murdered,
condolences.
yes, thank you. When he was murdered, it was Ike Miller. When he got murdered,
Mhm.
I didn't know what to do. I was like, Lord, my brother and I, we was very popular in the city of Jacksonville, the state of Florida, and all around. I said, he's dead. I'm in prison. What a tragic ending to our lives. And God said, no, you still living.
Come on. Come
Living, you
on.
can change. And
Yes.
by me changing, your brother can live inside of you. He can live in you. And
Yes.
so when I went up to the chapel, they told me that my brother got killed and was murdered that morning of 2002. No, wait a minute, 1992, when he was murdered.
1992. Okay.
Yeah, my mother, she was on the other end of the phone. The chaplain gave me the phone, talked to my mother. She told me my brother was dead. And I told my mother I didn't want to live anymore. I said, Mom, I can't live without my brother. I can't live. My mom told me, she said, Dana, we need you. Your siblings and I, we need you. And at that moment, a light came on. And I realized that I had to do more and better for myself. I had to make a change. And so
Yes.
that's when my change started. And I still had 9 years left to do.
I was
So,
going to ask you if I apologize for interrupting. I
no,
was going
you
to
good.
ask how much time were you sentenced to?
I was sentenced to 15 years with 10 mandatory. So I had
Oh,
to do the 10 mandatory.
and was it state or federal?
It was state. When I got arrested, I was headed towards the feds, but with a lot of more time and stuff. And then some things happened, but I would have rather done fed time because state time is really a hard time. But I'm gonna tell you, God's favor has always been on my life. Always. I'm talking about I've been shot up 10 times.
Wow.
Um, God was with me then. I should have been dead. My brother was hit with the same gun, shot with the same type of gun, caliber gun I got shot with. He had shot once in the back. I was shot 10 and lived, and he died off the one.
My
So
God.
So what
God
was
My
always
um
go ahead.
what was that like? Because I'm hearing a lot of what you're saying, so I want to kind of go back so people can get this picture of like
Mm-hmm.
life is in the arena you were in. Life
Mm-hmm.
seems great, money is good, not having to struggle as much. All of these things that we highlight, and then going from that to being shot, like what was that like in your head, even with being shot? And did you still do
And
things after that?
no, yeah, that's the crazy part. Being out here making all that money and stuff, it's an illusion. You think you're having fun. You think because we never saw the traps. And you got to understand, when I got in the drug game, the crack cocaine was just coming to Jacksonville. So we didn't know all the ills, the traps, and the pitfalls of what would happen to you because of that lifestyle. We thought we was having fun. I'm talking about you 17, 18 years old making $30,000 and $40,000 a day. And you come out
wow.
of the poor part of the communities out Moncrief, North Side, and Brentwood and the Blodgett home, and you making this type of money and you balling, you everywhere. So that was the upside that we thought was an upside, but it really was a pitfall because we were being set up. Because after
Right.
after that, before I got shot, I was running around and I got so deep into the streets. Like I said, it was a cancer. I didn't know how to get out of it. And I understand what these young guys are going through nowadays. It's hard to get out of it. It's hard. You need resources, but first you need the Lord. You need
Yes.
God. And He's showing us every day that He's on our side. You know, even when I was out there in the streets, He was with me. It's plenty of times I should be dead right now or doing more time in prison, but only by the grace of God that I'm
Mhm.
here.
Thank you,
And
So,
Lord.
go ahead.
so after, like, when you got that time sentence, you got the 15 to 10. Like, how did you feel coming out of court and entering into the prison?
Oh wow! After I got sentenced, I didn't understand the reality of my time. Um, I think I got sentenced. I was the only one in the court shoot. They was waiting to sentence me, and I had about it was like about 8 something in the evening. And after I got sentenced, I went back to my cell. When I went back to my cell, about 2:30 in the morning, it hit me. Dana, you got 15 year with 10 mandatory. And I jumped up, oh, just
Too
going
late.
crazy. The reality was setting in. And I was like, all that I've lost because I want to be out here in the streets. I want to be popular and make money. And like I said, my brother got killed. I had to make a change. I had to make a
Right.
change. So, and that's when I just leaned closer to the Lord. And by His mercy and grace,
Yes.
I am who I am now.
Absolutely. So what I'm just making sure I want to understand is that you and your brother was in the game together, and again, my sincere condolences for the loss of your brother.
Yeah. Y'all forgive
So
me. My computer was going dead. I'm just plugging it up right quick.
oh, you all right?
So, I'm sorry.
This is where we keep it real at. So bars and lock is where we keep it real at. So bloopers and all.
Okay.
There's no perfect person. We're imperfect people. So
And I'm so sorry to your
that's
audience.
okay. So what I was hearing that you and your brother was actually in the game together. Was he older than you at the
No, he
time?
was younger. He was a year younger than I. Yeah, he
Okay.
was a year younger than me, and that was my roadie. I'm talking about
Yeah.
like this. I'm talking. Ooh, so you can imagine how I felt when I lost him.
It was a
Uh,
great impact on your
yes,
life.
yes, it was. Yes, it was. So
Was that the thing that you feel like you're saying that catapulted your change, wanting to, do different when your brother lost his life and you caught
yes,
that
it was.
time?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That was the beginning of the change by the grace of God. That was the beginning. So when
Did
I
you
was in college, go ahead.
go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
Dr. C? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so we know people probably, so many people loved you when you had all the money, you was doing good. And I know you just seeing you in your community and how you have a giving spirit. I know you probably was just breaking everybody off. Like
Yeah,
everybody,
yeah, we
you
was
get
having a
some money,
great
you
time.
get some money, everybody gets some money.
It
you
was
know,
raining everywhere. We kept it
right?
raining. Yeah.
So I
Um,
so many people that life changes and people change once you can't give that anymore. So
mhm.
you're going into prison. We know it probably was plenty of people love you. Like you said, you was popular all over the city. What was that like once you got in? How did those things change? Did you have the same support, or what did that look like once you became incarcerated, like during your prison time?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Out of sight, out of mind.
Hmm.
So I had my family. My family was there for the whole 10 years, supporting me. My mom, my brother, and my sisters, and my father.
Good.
And I had a best friend named Reggie Washington that was there from the beginning to the end. And you know how you look for other people to be in your um, space to support you. No, they wasn't there. Reggie was. I wasn't looking for him to do it, but he was there. And I have a bunch of letters. I have over 100 letters that I used to write. So I want to maybe one day come on and read those letters from an inmate point of view
Yeah.
inside that I used to write him. And he just had those letters. He kept them and he gave them back to me about a couple of months ago. And I started reading. He said, Dana, everything you said in these letters that you was going to do, you're doing it by the grace of God.
Oh, yes. That is
So
such a testament.
when you got out, how hard was it not to go back to the streets?
Well, to
Mhm.
be honest with you, I thank God for my 5 years I had on paper because I didn't want it. My goal was never to go back to prison. I had made up my mind I would never go back to prison. When I got out of prison, I had a support group. I had my family and I moved in with my baby sister. She was like 20, but she had her own place and I moved in with her. And my mom and my family just supported me. But the blessing, I was able to go to work release. So I was able to build up a savings account.
That's
And
good.
then when I was in work release, I got a job. And I stayed on that job for 6.5 years. I made it all the way to supervisor,
Oh.
running running the receiving department. So that was the beginning of my um, leadership role,
Mm-hmm.
experience and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
and then just thinking, guys, when I left, they was younger and they used to admire me and my brother in the streets. Now they're big drug dealers. And I stayed in an apartment complex where one of them stayed upstairs from me. He was selling keys and keys. I'm talking about
Wow.
close to $300,000 and $400,000 worth of drugs. And he said, OG, man, I know you just come home. You need some money. And I used to be frustrated. I was like, wow, 750 hours not cutting it. But I knew I had to stay on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I had to build a work history. And it was just things that I had to do to better myself. And I had to go through it. Sometimes I just have to close my eyes. Even now, just say, God got it. God got it. He got me. I'm gonna overcome this situation. I'm gonna overcome. And it might just, they say, trouble don't last always. It might just come for a minute, but you best believe you hang in there and believe and trust in God, it's gonna change.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's amazing. So you made so working and obtaining well, let me go back because you said you was grateful for the 5 years that you had on paperwork,
Yeah,
right?
because I couldn't
Because
smoke
right.
marijuana, and I had a curfew from 10 at night to 6 in the
Mm-hmm.
morning, so I had to stay in. And
Mm-hmm.
I met my wife within those 5 years. Met
Oh,
her on the job, and we dated for like 2. Well, we were best friends for 2 years. She
okay.
would let me kiss her, or touch her, anything.
Oh, okay. Woman
So
of God.
she is that woman that God blessed me with, and I'm so thankful. And because that's the first woman I ever loved. Because
Mm-hmm.
when I was out there in the streets selling drugs, I was a whoremonger. I was everywhere. I just love beautiful women. I'm talking about that went to college, worked at Florida Blue, Prudential. I just thought I liked the women that the average guy couldn't get. When I see
Right.
a young lady, I said, "Man, she bad. Oh boy, you can't talk to her." I said, "I bet you $1,000 I get her." And I just use my charm. What's up? Hey, young lady, you so beautiful. And she already know. Hey, Dane. I'm like, oh, you already know me. And sometimes I'm tell y'all a little joke. So I had one guy. Him and I was after the same girl, and he would say, "Man, I bet you can't get her for me." I said, "I bet you I can." So I walked up to her one night and I said, drop me off around the corner. I'm give you $100. Drop me off around the corner. I'll be in the car." So she dropped me off around the corner. He see me leaving with her out the club, so it looked like I got her.
Right.
But I gave her $100. Drop me off around the corner. So we used to do stuff like that. Have
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
so,
God.
yeah,
That's hilarious right there. So reputation in the streets, you got clout, what the kids call it nowadays. You got clout, you have money. You and your brother,
mm-hmm.
y'all, handsome guys, you got
Thank
beautiful
you.
women on
Yeah,
different levels, and then
all
then
of
the
it come to an
reality,
end.
they don't tell you about they bait you. The streets bait you. Don't tell you that you're gonna be on the frying pan later on at 8 for dinner.
No,
So
it
then
didn't.
reality sets in. That brother loses his life.
Yeah,
You got 15 years, 10 that you have to do mandatory.
yeah,
Now you back home. You work and God done bless you and favored you. You watching and that wasn't nothing but the enemy. That temptation upstairs. You home. You seeing your neighbor making all his money, and then you still having to remain faithful and then God blesses you on your job and you get into a leadership position.
yeah,
So now you're doing things. So
yeah.
what's next? What's next for Dane at this point?
So I want to just mention my daughter. My daughter name is Renika, and she was 10 months when I got arrested, and she was
Oh,
with me in the house. So when they told me to put my hand up, she had a pacifier in her mouth. She put her hands up. But I want to
no.
I want to acknowledge my daughter, and then
Oh,
I had 2 sons with my wife. We have 2 sons together,
mhm.
and
Okay.
so I worked. I left Blaine and do the job I was on. I left it in 2008, and I started another job as a lead at a company called Performance Radiator. I stayed there for about 3 years, but while I was there, um, I know I like nice things. We have to be honest. I wanted
Right.
more for my family and to elevate, and I prayed to God. And I wasn't going to church. I had stopped going to church. So I talked to my wife, and I decided to go back to hair college. So I had finished back in '89. I had over 1,200 hours. So when I tried to go to Fortis with those hours, they told me, "You've been out, you've been locked up, you've been gone." No, they said, "You've been gone over 20 years. We cannot accept these hours." So I thought that was crushed. I thought my dream was crushed, but God had a plan. So I got a phone call about a month later. It was a guy, he was a recruiter from Florida. He said, "Mr. Dana, come to the school. We're going to see what we can do to help you." I said, "No, y'all already denied me. I don't want to get my hopes up anymore." He said, "Well, come in Saturday." I said, "Okay, I'll come in Saturday at 12, knowing I was lying to him. So he called me Monday morning. He said, "Mr. Dana, I'm laying in bed." He said, "You didn't come in." He said, "But I understand." He said, "But could you come in this morning?" I looked at my wife. I said, "Babe, they want me to come in." She said, "Well, just go and try." Little behold, they accepted me, and they accepted 600 of my hours from way back then. And I went to school for 6 months, got my barber license, and then I lost that job. I worked on the job for another year, afraid to jump out on faith to become a barber full time because I had a secure paycheck for my family. But
Right.
I lost that job because of the layoffs, because I made just as much, a little bit less than the manager. But number $12 an hour, they told me I made too much money now. So I started. I went. They let me off at 8 o'clock that morning. 9 o'clock, I was working in somebody's barbershop,
Right.
and it's been history from there. And then I just back in the community where I am, and I just seen how the community needed someone to help uplift it. And
Yes.
doing that, I just start growing, doing things in the community, and start. God just opening so many doors for me, just opening doors. And now we said I was in 2011. It's 2024 now.
Yes.
I just put my bid in for executive director of a Main Street America, which in Jacksonville is called at the Avenue Main Street. And what they do, they go in the community, they revitalize neighborhoods, commercial quarters, where they rebuild them. Like you go down in Orlando, you see all the commercial quarters and all that.
Right.
They have 12 main streets. That's what we're bringing to Jacksonville on the east side, out east. And I'm up for the executive director position.
All
So I'm
right.
paying for the board. Y'all gonna vote me in because God has already created that job for me. And
Yes.
I do so much. I'm a deacon in my church. My
Okay.
son is in the Navy. He's fit to,
Yay.
and my baby boy, he's fit to go to full sail. My wife, she's aspiring, she's still my rock. And so like I
Yes.
fall more and more in love with her every day.
Oh,
Um, so I have my own barber shop. I'm the only barber in here. It used to be a salon too, but I turned it into an office where other leaders in my community, like Suzanne Pickett, Don Curley, different people in the community, we can come in here and we can meet instead of have to go at find different spaces. So I allow this to become my incubator, a place of reckoning. And one thing I want to share, when I started back doing this community work, my goal was I helped tear down my community, and I'm determined to help build it back up.
yes.
So whatever
That's
God has
beautiful.
in store for me to do, along with my Bishop Harry L. Williams II, I go to Inner Word International Church, and I'm talking about, I just invite people just to come out, just to see the growth of the young people just coming into the church now. And I see that everything that I've been through in life, it was a purpose.
Yes.
Because
That's
they'll hear, these young brothers, they'll listen to someone like me that been through what they're going through. They can't tell me, "Oh, my uncle died, my brother died. Oh, my daddy been in prison. I've been in prison. Oh, I see my best friend just got carjacked." Well, I've been through it too. I've been shot up. Oh, we can't tell you nothing that you ain't did, but I'm still here. But you're doing good. You're doing good. Oh, I said, only by the grace of God. And it takes patience, and you have to do your due diligence. You have to treat people right and know how to respect people. I don't care what comes your way, what
yes.
obstacles, what try to tear you down. Like last night, I was laying in the bed. I was telling my wife I was laying in the bed, and there's some things that the devil was trying to put in my head. Oh, you're not deserving of this. And I woke up, started praying, and I went to my phone, went to my Bible app, and God was saying I could do all things through Christ Jesus that strengthens me.
Yes.
I could do all things. And what
Yes.
man say that I can't do, that's a lie. God said I could do all things through him. So I'm excited to be on this podcast. I'm excited to be where I am in
Absolutely.
my life. And I know y'all doing great things. And I thank God for y'all having
Yes.
me. And I know I'm just talking, but I get like this when I tell my story.
But
Great.
And I want to share one more point with y'all. I have a documentary that's out. It got over 1.5 million views. I'm
Wow.
doing a book. I'm doing a book also, and I just had Tubi. The directors and producer of Tubi are doing later on this year. They're gonna do a movie on my life story called "I Got Shot 10 Times."
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Congratulations.
I
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I had the White House to my barbershop. I'm on the telephone. During the COVID, they came to visit the White House. So they had did a big clearance and they came to share with me. I'm into the politics very heavy, very close with a lot of the council people. And God had just placed me in arenas that I never thought I would be at. Sometimes I'd be in that. And somebody asked me, say, Dana, do you want to get that felony taken off of you? I said, no, why? That's just like erasing what God has done. That felony will show you how far God can take you with a felony. I don't want my felony taken off me. That'll take away my story.
All right
So
now.
while we talking about voting, could you emphasize how important it is to vote
Oh, it's
to the
very
people
important.
to the
Yes.
people who don't understand what
Yeah.
voting means?
People died for our right to vote. Our forefathers are Martin Luther King. I'm talking about so many people died for us to vote, to have this right. We should not give our rights over to anyone. Voting is very important because they say, my vote don't count. Yes, your vote do. Right now, they're trying to vote in marijuana, and you have to look at what they're doing. The Democrats, they're strategic with what they're doing. And I look at it like this: they want to put it on the ballot, which it will be on the ballot to vote. Watch how many people go outside, register to vote just to vote marijuana to be legal as a recreational drug. So, and you tell me if that wasn't on the ballot, your vote don't count. I bet you'll run and vote then because you feel like your vote count. Why you think it won't count any other time?
That's right.
I've
Right.
seen how votes count, and it's our civil duty to go out and vote and select who we want to lead us. Because if we leave it as standard quo as it is now, people will be able to make decisions. And if you don't vote, you don't even have a voice. So I don't even want to hear anything you got to say, complaining or anything. Go vote because it's very important. And I am the director of Voters Advocacy for Life Inc. Everyone have a voice. No, everyone is a leader. Is a leader. That's it. Life, and it's very important to go out and vote. It doesn't take that much time. And one thing about it, if you register to vote, you claiming ownership. Ownership. You taking ownership and responsibility of voting. Just registering, you'll see how it feels to just saying I did something positive. Just do something positive in life at least once, and that's just to register to vote because it's very important. You got to look at our future, where we're headed, and what's happening around us. Your vote is very important because you don't want to be left behind. Not what's going on now. Look at the change in Jacksonville. You will be left behind. You can't even say if you didn't vote for our mayor, you can't even say you was a part of history with her being in office because you didn't vote. So just go out and vote. It's not going to hurt you to go vote. Just like you go in the store and buy a can of beer or a soda pop or something, you can go and vote just that easy.
Right. And I think it's very important, especially in the state of Florida, for those. And I'll get your take on how did you feel, because we passed Amendment 4 when those were convicted of felonies could end up voting. Because, before that, the right to vote for anybody convicted of a felony, it was null and void. There was no voting. So how did you feel when you were able to go down there and have that registration card and put your vote in for whoever, I can't remember, it was 2016, I think it was. What did that feel like to be able to say, now I can go down here because I done served my time?
Shannon, you was right there with me through the FRRC, Florida Rights Registration, when we was working with them. It was a joy. I think in 2008 when Obama became president, I wanted to vote, but I put in my application, my Clemson and everything to vote, but they denied me then. And I think it was 2016 when I kept getting mail and it's saying register to vote, register to vote. I said, why they keep sending me this? I can't register to vote. And it's just the Lord saying, just call them and see your status. And they said, yeah, you can. You are. I said, what? And I'm gonna tell you, I voted ever since. I'm so happy to be able to vote. That is a privilege. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It
I
really
early,
is.
I early vote the first day of early voting. So I think, oh, forgive me, my phone.
He said he voted the first day when they
Yeah,
start
the first
early
day. That's
voting.
my bishop calling me. I call it right back. No, I voted the first day. The first day of early voting. I be there, and I hope I be the first one in line. That's just how important it is to me, and that's just how exciting to know that I'm a part. And then by knowing that I voted, it gives me more leverage to go out and
Talk
do the
about
things that I do in the community to help the mayor and the city council and the sheriff department and my community. I have a right to do that. I voted.
That's
So
right.
you have to answer to me.
That's,
So, and when I ask you a question, because I'm a voter and I'm a taxpayer, and I'm talking about when I was out here in these streets, I didn't have any of those rights. I couldn't do any of those things. And I realize now where my life was to where it is now. And I'm not saying it's easy. It's not easy. Nothing in life worth having is easy, but it's well worth it. When I can go home and I got peace and I can lay in the bed and look at TV and channel surf and eat what I want to eat and read my Bible, even surf the phone, the web, on Facebook or whatever I'm doing at peace. And it's all worth it. I don't have to worry about the police. I even got police come here, even officers that was correctional officers when I was in prison come to my shop and they talk about how I was in prison. So the
wow.
change started in prison, and I had to self change. I had to, by the grace of God, I am who I am.
Absolutely.
this.
Did you
That's
take
amazing.
advantage? It's amazing. Did you take advantage of any of the programs in prison?
Oh yes, I took some classes of at UNL, no UF, and it was business software, computer business software. I did a 1,200-hour course while I was in prison. It was not but a bunch of white guys, nerdy white guys in there, and I was accepted in that program because the major and the colonels and all of them, they really liked me. I was the staff barber. So they loved the way I carried myself. And I felt like I was somebody. Well, just because I'm in prison, I'm gonna walk with my head up high. Yeah, I'm somebody. I don't have to get caught up in that mess in there. I'm going home. My end goal in prison was to go home on time.
Yes. Mhm.
And I'm a grown man, so I don't need nobody putting their hands on me. I don't need you talking to me any type of derogatory way or treating me any type of way. I'm a human. I'm gonna respect you, and I demand that you respect me. But it's the way
Mhm.
I carry myself, and that's even out here on the streets. You respect others the way you want others to respect you. If you want a friend, show yourself friendly, and realize that you don't have to try to fight all your goals and all your battles yourself. God will fight your battles for you. And it seems like, oh, I'm a sucker. No, you still here living. Walk away from that fight because you can live to see another day. You ain't got to be
Absolutely.
it's a bunch of dead heroes in the cemetery. I want to be a live sucker than a dead hero.
That's right.
So this has been totally amazing.
Yes.
Your story of of being
Redemption.
listen, the highlight of the city to being the real highlight of the city,
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you have this, and what I'm looking at is that what people don't understand is the same type of life you were able to live in the negative, you've been able to live that in the positive.
Exactly. Look
Like
at me.
you
Yeah,
still who you are. You still the same person, have the same mentality, but you're able to use it in a different way.
Mhm.
And some of them don't understand that if you can manage a million out here in the wrong way, guess what? You can manage a million in the right way.
that's
You
right.
in the right way, because the streets is not where the real business is at.
That's right.
And they
Because
going
like when I
through
was in the streets, Shayna, I drove Cadillacs and rental cars. Now I'm not in the streets and I drive Porsches and stuff.
Come
okay,
on.
come on now.
And I'll pull up in a Rolls Royce on you in a heartbeat too.
Yes.
So it's all God. And I just said that, just throw that out there that you can have whatever you want. If that's your desire, you can have whatever you want. You just put God first. I thought that I wanted those things, but that's materialistic things. All I want to do is see people happy and God used me to be a blessing to others.
Yes.
That's my number one goal, is just to be a blessing to others. That's where I get my joy from. Being able to see a young kid come in the barbershop having problems in school, and I'm able to talk with them and encourage them. They call me uncle. They tell me they love him. When I was a young boy, his parents died, and the streets. He's from the neighborhood, and like he's going back into the streets and everything. Now he's in college playing basketball. He come home, and sometimes he hit me up on Facebook. In my messenger, and I said, all he said, Mr. Dana. I know what he wanted. I sent him a few dollars. But just being able to do that, to be the rock in my community, to help others, that's the greatest joy. Just working, being faithful in my church, loving my church family and my community. That's it. That's really the joy. It's not about me. It never has been about me. I just thank God for using me as a vessel.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yes, sir.
and I think that's the good thing. You need to be able to show them that they can drive a Rolls Royce and a Porsche. Like sometimes people want to dim their light of what God has blessed them with. So I think they need to see that, because they're gonna question like what he really doing, because he driving a Rolls Royce and a Porsche, like what he doing. So then you able to tell them that you don't have to be out in the streets and drive this thing. So I think that's just a way that God is able to use you to be able to have those conversations with those that are trying to obtain those type of things. And then you could dress too. So they need to see that, like he can dress, he doing all these things, he drive Rolls Royces and Porsches, and he moving like that. So now I need to know what it is, because I don't want to keep looking over my shoulder every day.
You have to be responsible. You have to be responsible, because even in my doing, I still make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I still have to go to God every day. I forgive me of my shortcomings. And even with finance, I ask God to show me a better way to maintain my finances. Sometimes I mess up with my finances. Sometimes I do well, but I'm learning every day. I'm on earth. We are all learning. We go from glory to glory. And then I just thank God for just what He's doing. And I thank God, like I said again, for this platform. And you're right. We have to show these young people, these young sisters and stuff, we have to show them how to love each other. You have to show the young sisters how to respect herself and demand that young boy respect her.
Yes, sir.
And you'll see the change. You'll see the change. He'll pull his pants up, you know, and she'll pull her dress down. I'm talking about to her knees instead of having it all hiked up. So it's about we respecting each other in each other's space.
Absolutely. So how can people find you if they want to come get a haircut? Now, I've seen you do more than haircuts. And listen, some of these kids look like they done knocked off 15 years.
Yes. Like with Shayna. Shayna does a lot, and I'm so grateful for her. She always, Dana, girl, sit down and rest. You just like Suzanne Pickett. Y'all sit down and rest sometime. Then they'll call me Dana. I said, what you doing? Laying in the bed. I said, what's wrong? My body shut down for a day or two. I said, good. So people can reach me at Dana the Barber, or you can go on my Facebook page, or you can go to Google me. You can Google me, and you can see everything that God is doing, my Facebook page and all that. Or you can come to 826 8 Philip Randolph out east. And yes, y'all will be safe out here. Don't be scared to come out east. So you can come to my barbershop, 826 8 Philip Randolph Boulevard, or you can call me, and my phone number is all across the world, so I don't mind giving it out. It's 904-999-7336. So if you want to reach me for anything, for even helping you start a business, I do it. You come in here, we can sit down and go to some bids, and I can navigate you through everything, every step you need to do to start your business. And
that's amazing. Listen, and if y'all a man and y'all saying, you having a midlife crisis, and you see that receding hairline, and you want to get it laid to the side and it looking real good like you 25, Mr. Dana will hook you up. I've seen some amazing transformations. So we definitely we thank you for being on today.
Thank y'all for having me.
Stick around if you want to. We're almost wrapping up our episode for today, but we have a few more things that we're gonna cover. You can stick around if you want to.
I want to, but I got some customers. I'm finna go cut their head. But I want y'all to know too that the way you take care of yourself and your body, it shows when you get an age. I'll be 58 in July. And
Wow, you
everybody
look
to my, "You
amazing.
what?" I said, yeah, I'll be
Wow.
58 in July. So I don't have any wrinkles, anything. And I'm like you women. I'll put that oil on my face. That beauty oil at night. My wife tell you, my wife always tell me, she said, you a man of great hygiene. And I think that's what we men now take care of ourselves. And I want you men to go to your doctors, get your prostate checked, get your colon checked, get your heart checked. Go to that doctor. It's better knowing than not knowing. I
Right.
love you and thank y'all for having me.
All
We
right.
love you
Thank
Thank you
you.
too.
for joining us.
Woo woo! God is good. Jesus, God is good.
All
Yes.
right. All right, y'all. That was so good, so good, so good, so good.
Yes.
I took away so much from that. So how y'all feeling?
I I'm just like I just love to hear the testimonies over and over again. And I just love when someone has done time, they come back home. Not only are they just concerned with their own, agendas, but they're concerned with the community and what's going on. They giving back, they pouring into lives. His shop is a ministry. It's a ministry. And what was that? Is that Jeremiah or Nehemiah that was rebuilding the temple in the Bible? And he had all the opposition. Who was that? Was it Jeremiah or Nehemiah? When they was rebuilding the temple and they was receiving all this
Was it
opposition, but
Nehemiah? I think it was. I
yeah,
don't know for sure, but it was one of them.
It was a Maya, huh?
Right, it was Nehemiah.
he reminds me of that person that's rebuilding in his community, and he's gonna receive opposition. Like he's saying, nobody perfect, but I just thought it was amazing. I enjoy his testimony.
Yeah, it
Awesome.
was great. It was inspiring. He speak well. He's real positive. So it was a real good episode. It was a real good interview.
Absolutely. So we're
Absolutely.
gonna move on to our next segment, which is our bars breaking news. So keeping it real, what we got going on in the news, sir?
Well. We're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about a few things, but we're gonna start with the BG getting locked up or possibly getting back locked up. You know, for going out and doing the work that he does. This is what he do. He's at a concert with another felon, but I don't understand why they're attempting to rearrest him for doing what he does to make his living. It just don't make any sense to me. What do y'all think?
So I would say so I'll take it from two sides. The one side is when they release you and you're released and you're still on uh probation or parole or
Hmm.
whichever one it is. So when you're released, they give you all these stipulations. And a lot of times I believe they don't think you're going to meet the stipulations. So the intent is for you to go back. Because I believe they know if this is what you did 10 years and this is all you've done beforehand, of course you're going to go back to that. So the stipulation is, okay, you can't. Well, they want you to they wanted him to find another profession. Told he need another job. That was one thing in the article. But then also there's ways in which you have to be able to navigate life. So if they just said you can't be around a person, well, we know in the music industry now that you don't have to be in the same room with the person to record the music.
Right.
Right.
Listen, you can do a video and not be in the same place with the video with the way we have technology. So I think I just believe, in my personal opinion, they already knew that they just didn't want that it was going to be hard because this is your profession. You're well known. These people love you. You still have those relationships. So I think that on that end, just the setup for our black men to go back. But then if this is what they say, you just got to be creative of how to do it. And and another thing is to show you that no matter how much money you got,
Come on.
if we want you in there, no matter
You in there.
You in there.
right.
Yeah.
And you connected, or the article was saying he did videos and he was doing music and he did like some concerts and stuff with
But
these
them
videos.
concerts was the issue, being at that concert with particular people.
Right.
So
going live. Like these cell phones, this social media and cell phones can make you or break you. And
Yes,
so
they can.
it, for me, the way that I would think that they looking at it and his PO looking at it is, oh, so you gonna rub that in our face? So I just told you this is what you can't do. I just told you to find another job. And so this is what you're gonna do. So I just look at it from that aspect of but hopefully, he'll be able to navigate and still be able to do the job that he loves. But just you gotta be creative about it. You gotta think about it, especially if you don't have that long. And that's just for anybody. If the stipulations say you can't be out at 10:01, don't be out at 10:01. Because that
But
Right.
but
might not
the
have no.
article says associating unnecessarily with felon. I don't think being at a concert would be called unnecessary, no connection,
Mhm.
because it's his work.
Right,
That could be his argument.
right.
That could definitely be his argument because he can say that association is a potential contract and thing. But I'm with Dr. C, in terms of like you knew the stipulations. It is what it is. You're in the system, and what the article said he had a year left on paper because I know I guess that just left. He had 5 years on paper. How much time did it say how much time he had left for his probation wise?
Not that long, I don't think.
And
He
that's
was
that's the point. That's the point. Just do what you got to do until you can do better. You know the rules and regulations. You've already been caught up in the system. You know how the scales of justice is not balanced when it comes to our black and brown brothers and sisters. So with that being said, you want to scope. They watching everything you got going on. 6 months to a year, abide by the rules and regulations, be creative, like Dr. C said, with all this new technology. You don't even have to record in the same rooms. You can do videos. They can be over here. Just do what you got to do until you can do better. And he just got caught slipping, and that's just what it is. I hope he don't get relocked up though. I love
Right.
I'm
BG.
I'm hoping that the system changes, because
Yeah.
the way he's not really doing anything wrong. I know
I
it's the
agree.
rules and stipulations on what he can and can't do, but they put a lot of things they put on felons and people coming back into society that they can't do. Be around certain people, that family members, they can't be around their kids sometimes because of certain things. So I don't understand why the system is due to change, other than the person having to change so much about the way of living and their style of living.
But we just said they got to do what? Vote. If you don't have the ability to vote, you got to be a voice. But we know like some of those same celebrities, they are now in the political world or the world of helping with mass incarceration or probation. They're also uh, being advocates of returning citizens. So of course, if this person is trying to make change, well, I don't want you to be around these type of people, because I don't want more change. So we got to just make sure we do our due diligence. If you cannot vote and you have a platform, if you have relationships with people, you need to be an advocate even if you can't vote.
Right.
Right.
I agree.
Everybody else. So that was really good. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the cell block question. Like everybody got a question, and today, we're gonna cover one of the things where we want to know like what's about to happen. So we're gonna play this little clip and
Okay.
we'll get into it.
Okay, P. Diddy, Sean Combs, you have questions about the likelihood of him being arrested by the feds, and I am a federal criminal defense lawyer, so let's get into it. At the moment, we don't know exactly where P. Diddy is, but here's what we know. We know that feds from the Department of Homeland Security raided his home. We know that 25-year-old Brendan Paul, his alleged drug mule, was arrested at the Miami airport and charged with drug possession on Monday. And we know that he has pending against him 3 civil lawsuits, right? So these are civil, non-criminal in nature. So the Department of Homeland Security, in particular, as a federal agency, deals with what we call transnational crime that is occurring over borders. We see them a lot at airports. They deal with drug trafficking. gun trafficking, and sex trafficking. And so, if the arrest at the Miami airport is tied to this idea that there are violations of transporting drugs across country lines, well, then of course Homeland Security would be involved in a criminal investigation. And similarly, if there are allegations that people engaged in travel for the purpose of engaging in illegal sexual misconduct, a violation of the Travel Act, then Homeland Security would be the investigating agency. So what this tells me as a federal criminal defense lawyer is that what started as a civil lawsuit evolved into investigators talking to potential witnesses, potential victims, believing they had enough to raid a home, and are now piecing it all together to present it to a grand jury for criminal indictment. And what Mr. Combs is probably doing right now is meeting with his lawyer, who is likely communicating with the agents in charge of the investigation, any associated federal prosecutors, assistant United States attorneys, and they're probably discussing a potential turn-in or self-surrender, and if they can agree on terms of release. We'll see. But this is one of many examples of a situation that maybe starts civil and you're worried about being sued, maybe somebody making some sort of demand for your money, and then your concern becomes whether or not you're going to spend years and years in prison. So it's always good to have a federal criminal defense lawyer who can help you through things like this. See you in court.
All right. So listen, that right there, people want to know what's gonna happen. We don't know.
We don't know.
But as she said, it's good to have you an attorney, especially when it go from civil and then it could
The
possibly.
criminal. But I'm trying to figure out it's a lot of things in there. The drug mule, the sex trafficking. But I would say this is all he innocent until he's proven guilty, right?
Supposedly.
Also often we criminalize a person before they got anything. Those silver suits, they come a long way. People try to get somebody with when you have that kind of status and that kind of money. They saw that the girl Cassie, his ex, get that money and he just settled out. So they thinking maybe we come with it, he'll settle out with us, and we just I don't know what to think. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, and if it did happen, that he should be prosecuted. But I'm just saying let's hear let it come out.
Right.
Let's just hear it out.
But social media will already convict you or say you didn't, like from instance before, and they piece and those people with big platforms that or news stations or that they spin it or the headlines just for clicks because there's money in clicks. There's
Yeah.
money in subscribers, even if the information is not true. So
Right.
it's like, and I don't just think about his story, but I think about other people that have been convicted of crimes that they did not commit and that the world thought they was the worst person ever before really understanding. And we got plenty social media lawyers, attorneys that have never did anything in the field. So that is going to be good to just see how the case plays out. And that's could be a testament to other people on how to handle their business and what they should and should not be out here doing. So that was a good little clip from a real attorney. Well, y'all, this has been real. We are about to wrap it up, and I just want to leave people with a word, since we talked about the Lord this whole interview. So I want to leave people with a little scripture, and this is the one that I always like. This is my life scripture. Is Romans 8:28. I can do all things, not some things, but all things through Christ who strengthens me. I live by that every day when life becomes hard, when life becomes a challenge, when I want to give up. So this has been Bars Unlocked. Thank you all for joining us.
Peace.
And don't forget to go like and subscribe.
Like and
Subscribe.
subscribe.
I am your host, Dr. C, with Holly P, aka Miss Nail Teens, and Keeping It Real Drew. Have a good
All
night.
right.
Bye bye.